Keto myths. They're out there. I'm here to squash them. Today we're going to talk about 5 keto myths when it comes to feeding a keto diet to your dogs. So let's just jump into it right now. I'm going to go through these rapid fire because I am so eager to get the truth out there. The first myth is, well, if I feed a keto diet to my dog, they're going to automatically get pancreatitis, right? Wrong. So let's talk about what it is. Pancreatitis is inflammation of the pancreas. It can be acute, it can be chronic, it can be mild, and it is a serious health problem that if you suspect your dog has this, of course you need to be working with your veterinarian. There are 4 common things that can lead to pancreatitis, and none of these is a raw keto diet. The first thing that can lead to pancreatitis are the genes. Some dogs are more genetically predisposed to get pancreatitis. The second very common cause of pancreatitis, especially veterinarians tell us often that this is the #1 cause of acute pancreatitis in their office, is cooked fats. And the reason is when you feed a dog a cooked fat, whether it's cooked via a kibble that's processed, all kibble is cooked and processed, or you cook a piece of steak on the grill and you feed the scrap to your dog, what happens is cooked fat creates highly volatile inflammatory fatty acids in the body, which is why you don't see cases of pancreatitis in a dog that is eating a raw keto diet that's low in carb and high in fat, because the fat is not cooked, it's not processed. At least with our food and Bones & Co., we don't process the food at all. So the dog is getting all of the proper digestive enzymes and healthy fats that are bioavailable. And that leads me to a third cause of pancreatitis, and that is lack of proper digestive enzymes to properly break down the fats in the body. So that's why it's really important to avoid cooked fats and giving cooked fats to your dog, because those are lacking the proper digestive enzymes to break down fat. But again, in a keto raw diet like we make, the digestive enzymes are plentiful because again, we don't process the food. It's whole, real foods in its natural state. And the fourth thing that can lead to pancreatitis in a dog is feeding a high carb processed kibble, and all kibble is processed. Kibble is heated, it's cooked, it's high in sugar and high in anti-nutrients. What do these things make a great environment for? Pancreatitis. And so this is why when people tell me that they're worried that our keto diet is going to lead to pancreatitis, I just remind them that our Bones & Co. keto diet is completely raw. We do not process it. We do not cook it, of course, and we do not alter it. So the natural nutrients are bioavailable to the dog. And in addition to that, our diet is composed of very low carbohydrates and higher and moderate levels of protein and healthy fats. So what the body is doing is actually putting the fat to work. So in a non-keto diet, the dog relies primarily on carbohydrates as the fuel source. In this scenario where the dog is primarily using carbs, they're going to have more blood sugar spikes, more insulin spikes, and that can lead to inflammation. And what did we say pancreatitis was? It's an inflammatory response in the pancreas. But in a raw keto diet like the Bones & Co., the body is going to utilize fat as the primary fuel source. So fat's not just going to be sitting around. It's going to be used. And that leads me to the next one, hyphen. The next myth is feeding a keto diet to my dog is going to make them overweight or fat. And here's the reality, guys. I can answer this in 2 seconds. 1 second, actually. Fat does not make you fat. The presence of high carb and high fat absolutely can lead to obesity. And the key there is high carb. The Bones & Co. keto diet is, like I said before, completely raw, but it's also very, very, very low in carbohydrates and high in healthy fats and adequate protein. So what does that do? When a dog is eating a keto diet, their metabolism completely shifts away from glycolysis and towards ketosis. Glycolysis is the metabolic pathway that makes the body rely primarily on carbs as a fuel source. When you're eating a diet high in carbohydrates, or when your dog is eating a diet high in carbohydrates, aka a non-keto diet, their body is going to be storing fat because it's going to be utilizing carbohydrates and it's not going to have a need for fat. So what does it do with it? It stores it, and that can lead to weight gain. And that is why 56% of dogs and growing are overweight in the world, because most dogs are eating a diet high in carbohydrate. But on the flip side, if your dog is eating a keto diet, the carbohydrate levels are very low. So the body's going to deplete and go through those carb stores super fast for energy. And then the only option left for energy usage is going to be fat. And so instead of storing fat, what does the body do? It uses it. And that's why you see a lot of humans say that when they consume a keto diet, the fat just melts off. And that's because the body is efficiently burning fat for fuel. Because it has become widely known that the keto diet can help in a massive way in pet parents' fight against canine cancer, diabetes, allergies, epilepsy, and obesity, a lot of pet parents will sometimes think, okay, that's great. Keto can really help if my dog has cancer or diabetes, but what if my dog is healthy? Once my dog gets healthy, or if I have a second dog in my family and they don't have any metabolic disease, then keto's not for them, right? Keto's only for sick dogs, right? Wrong. Both of my dogs are healthy. I have Bentley here and Finnegan here, and both of my dogs eat a keto diet. So the reason that we believe in the power of a keto diet for dogs that are healthy today, and then you want to keep them that way, or a dog that may be suffering, is because there's a variety of levels of keto. Let me tell you what I mean. Our current recipe is a healthy and moderate 1-to-1 fat to protein ratio. This means it's a balanced keto diet, and that means that it's great for dogs that are healthy today because it can put them in the best metabolic state to keep them healthy. But for dogs that have a more aggressive metabolic disease right now that you want to treat quickly, or let's say you want to get your dog into ketosis quicker, that's when we would recommend a more therapeutic or clinical based keto diet, which means that it has a much higher fat profile meant to feed for supplemental use. But if we look at the way that dogs eat in the wild, actually Mark Roberts is a scientist who did a study on domesticated dogs, and he allowed them to self-select, and these were healthy dogs. I'll have the study linked down below, and he showed that not only did dogs self-select a 1-to-1 fat to protein ratio, which is how our base keto line is currently formulated, but he also showed that they were thriving while eating that macronutrient profile, which is a keto diet. So we believe it is the most natural and biologically appropriate, as well as metabolically appropriate way for a dog to eat. And it's at this point people will say, okay, Rachel, we get it. You guys love fat. You love keto diets. You're all about metabolic health. So you must hate carbs. And guys, no, the reality is I don't hate carbohydrates. In fact, our Bones & Co recipes all have a little bit of carbs in them, just the necessary amount to make sure that the dogs have the micronutrient profile that they need to make sure that the food is complete and balanced, but nothing excessive. We believe that dog foods that add excessive amount of carbohydrates to their food, which candidly is most other dog foods out there, are doing that as a filler because carbs are the cheapest ingredients you can put in a dog food. But no, I don't hate carbohydrates. I hate the unnecessary use of excessive carbs to make the product cheaper to the manufacturer, but not add any nutrients for the dog. Comment down below, what myth did you believe at one point in your life? There has to be at least one here that you kind of thought was true. Be honest here. We've all been there. And don't forget to click that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys so much.